Hey guys, welcome back to A's Adder. I'm A, and Adder basically means informal conversation, so that's how we got here. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Hope you had a blessed Christmas and a good festive period with your families and your loved ones. If you don't celebrate, well, I hope you enjoyed your days off. New Year 2023, new time, and I'm starting it off with a familiar face. Hello Luigi, and welcome back to my show.
Thanks for having me again.
Don't worry, bro. It's a little bit different now, innit? So we've got new things to talk about.
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened. I want to start off though, because like you just said before we recorded, people may not know who he is. So, quick fire 3 questions. How old are you? And what are you doing in life right now?
So I'm 19, turned 20 in April. I'm at uni in America on a football scholarship, which we went through in the last episode.
Yeah, go watch it.
Don't really need to talk about that.
Yeah, of course. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, I want to just get straight into it, bro. I can't lie. We're just gonna go right. So, in the last episode, we had a little segment on relationships, and you yourself, you said, and it's on camera as well, that relationships at this age are pointless, and you don't believe in them. I might be paraphrasing, maybe, I doubt it, but yeah. And in the past 6 months since you've been on, you've actually become a hypocrite. So I want to know a little bit about that. So in layman's terms, my man has had a relationship, and we just want to know, me and the people want to know, like, what inspired that change in mindset and what happened?
Yeah, well, I think I did say on the podcast, I said I'd only ever get in a relationship if I genuinely thought it was going to go all the way.
Okay.
Maybe not marriage, but like...
Yeah.
Because obviously, what's the point in getting into something now unless... So, I met a girl. I thought...
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was... The thing with it was 4 months, but... See, over there in college, it's a lot different than I'd say over here because we were in, like, the same dorm, like, building.
The environment is like you're saying.
Literally, we were with each other pretty much every day for those 4 months, speaking to, like, it was like being married to the girl, to be fair.
Damn.
So yeah, that's why when I say it was only 4 months, some people are like, oh, like...
It seems like
get
nothing,
over
like
yourself,
we're chatting shit to you. Yeah.
But, like, it was very intense the whole way through, like... It was like being married.
I never even thought about it like that,
Yeah, it was different than, like, here you might see them once a week at the weekends.
Yeah, and that's like,
much easier to manage. Whereas, and this was my first relationship, my first proper experience with a girl.
Yeah, because you actually said that. I watched a bit of it back, like just the relationship side, and you were like, yeah, well, in my years, I've not really had much opportunity to be with a girl. And then funnily enough, like, flip it now and like, opportunities come. So obviously, I didn't even think about the environment thing. I never actually put that into perspective because if you spend that much time with somebody in a very enclosed space, like it's not like you man are going out X and Y Z doing your own thing, like because your thing is in the exact same building. It makes sense. I want to know. I want to go from like in like a chronological-ish kind of order. Right. So obviously, like you've not gone there with the idea of starting a relationship.
Well, okay, so the thing with this is, I said to everyone, there's one girl, if it doesn't work with her, before I went, I'm pretty sure I told you, mate, I think I showed you her as well. Yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
I said, if it doesn't work with her, then I'm not looking, like, I'll just continue my life.
Yeah.
And then, funnily enough, look, I got help. My friend Alfie, he's got a girlfriend who was on the same team as the team she was joining. Obviously I asked her to put in a good word
assist,
for me.
And
we started speaking on Snapchat, and within like a week we'd met up, and then
Sparks fly.
It was like instant connection. Like it wasn't awkward ever. Like it was perfect, and then it just built from there. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, when you started chatting to her, obviously, I'm assuming everything you said in that episode, is just out of your mind. I'm assuming. Yeah. Well, the more you chatted to her, at least anyway.
Yeah.
Because with this connection, it's love is a very strong emotion.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna I guess I'm being right then. Like you kind of just realize, oh, maybe I was tripping. Maybe I was trying to, because you got to try whatever is opportunities.
It was always in the back of my mind, just because like it was her first year at college. It was her first few weeks at college. Like obviously, I didn't know whether she wanted to maybe experience different things.
Yeah.
But for me, like I was ready to like as I said, like it was her or nothing. So now I had the chance. Like I might as well give it my all.
Yeah.
And
You feel like you did?
yeah, I mean, I won't lie. Like obviously, I wasn't great the whole
It's your first
time.
relationship, yeah, of course. No
Yeah,
one's
like
perfect.
obviously I was learning
Yeah.
on the job pretty much. Like, and like the first few weeks, yeah, it wasn't great from my perspective. Like I was quite not controlling, but like. No, actually, I kind of was. I'll say it bluntly. I was.
Damn. Okay,
Like,
fair enough.
But like, there was an
In what aspect?
like I
And
just,
then talk about this instance.
yeah, I just didn't understand like why I wanted to see her so much, and maybe she didn't want to see me as much as like
Oh, that little
Yeah.
kind of disconnect.
I remember
between,
there was
yeah.
one like night she wanted to go shopping somewhere, and I was like, oh, I literally said, why do you want to go shopping over seeing me? And she was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Fair enough. Like she stopped speaking to me for like a few days, and I kind of learned like that was always my issue. I think with girls, like once I got attached, I became so obsessed that it was them or nothing. Like they're my only form of happiness of whatever. And then I realized like I've just thrown out this girl that I really like. I'm like starting to really like form a connection with because she didn't want to see me one night, even though
it's
we
not as
spent
deep
most
as
of the
you
week
think.
together.
Yeah.
And then once I figured that out, luckily we spoke about it again and we got back on the right track. And after that, I was fine with it. Like, so that was a good thing that I learned early on, because if I didn't have that little bump in the relationship,
Oh, you wouldn't have even
I
carried on.
probably
Yeah.
would have just ruined it completely.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, bro, because we haven't experienced. No, I won't say love. I'll say a strong connection with people.
Yeah.
Well, many women, let's say, or romantically, over our years, because we're obviously still, like, we're both 19, 20 in April, you know what I'm saying? But, like, yeah, we wouldn't have experienced it as much. It's very normal to end up being obsessed, if that's the right word, with X person. Even though, because now you're smiling when you're talking about it, because you know that logically it's like, all right, anyone can do exactly what they want. We are not married.
Yeah.
There's not much loyalty there as of yet. You know, if you go deeper into a relationship, I guess it makes sense. And if it was an important reason you had to see her that same day, it makes sense. But it's a learning curve.
Yeah, it was.
Obviously, that's one thing you've learned. Might have to put like a tally in like the edit or something.
Yeah.
But if
there
that
is a
can be
lot.
done. But okay, so obviously, like I've said, you've built up this connection. You had the early bump in the road. I remember obviously having a few conversations with you, and you being like, okay, this feeling is brazy.
Uh-huh.
Can you describe what that feel? What is the feeling like to be? I'm getting into this now. To be like not in love, but let's say to recognize that kind of deep connection with somebody. I know you can't. Maybe it's inexplicable, but I want to hear what you can say.
The best way I can describe it is like, I don't know. You know when you get that butterfly feeling?
Yes.
It never went. Like every time I'd see her just like randomly in this like passing each other to go to class, like even 2 months in, I'd still get that feeling of like, wow. Like look. Yeah. And then obviously because it was like having a best friend. Like honestly, I've never, other than like my close friends, I've never laughed that much with a person. I've never got on, like we had the same sense of humor, which for me is quite hard to believe.
That is very, just in case you guys don't know who he is, that's very difficult.
Yeah,
so
like,
when you're saying that, it makes a lot of sense.
Like,
yeah.
She understood, like we just got, oh mate, it was like having your best friend
with you like all the,
the time, and like obviously then there's you're attracted to her as well, like
bonus.
Like it was just I thought it was perfect, like that feeling, like when it was good, it was like so good. But obviously it's a roller coaster, isn't it? Relationships.
Okay, but that's also the thing. So
yeah,
it's kind of like a euphoric feeling, that pure joy whenever you're quitting about or you're with her. Butterflies never go away. Inshallah, one day we can all feel that feeling about somebody. But you said roller coasters. So you've mentioned one dip already. Are there any other notable dips that you remember? If so, hopefully not many. Or any you want to mention? Obviously, this is on your terms.
There were a few, but obviously I don't want to go into like it, because it's not my place. Like there was stuff we both messed up. Like me more. Like I was. Yeah.
You fully can admit that. And you actually think that based on the facts of what happened.
Well, the thing is, the whole relationship, I was just so insecure. Like I wasn't happy within myself. So like, whenever she'd go out, I'd be like, like she's gonna.
Yeah.
Like she wouldn't. Like I trusted her so much. I just didn't. I don't know. Like, And I'd just like, I'd almost like self-sabotage. Like I'd say stuff that I didn't need to say just to like get a reaction. And like she was the type of girl who didn't really, what's the word, like reassure as much as like I would have liked. So I kind of did things to like try and show that she cared for me. So like I'd
provoke the reassurance that you wanted.
Like to show that she had like still cared, whatever.
Yeah,
and that's just stupid. Like I'd do some like weird, like I remember one time I just ignored her on Snap. Like she'd gone home for the weekend, and I just like ignored her for a few. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, and it's just stuff like that. I think back, I'm like, why did I do that?
But that's the thing. Like, but when you have that, when you get into that, you know, kind of situation with somebody, as beautiful a situation as it is, well, love can make you go crazy. Yeah. Or strong can, I don't know if you're gonna say if you think you loved her or not, but say it, you don't have to say that if you don't want to. But in just terms of that pure connection can really make you like do things you wouldn't do if you were you know more subdued.
As I said, there was obviously neither of us were perfect. Like, and the thing is, we were both so stubborn as well. Once one of us had an issue with the other, it was like locked horns. And I think that's why there was a few issues. But like as I said, nothing too like nothing bad really ever happened. Like
we'd always make
up a day later most times. Like.
Yeah, well that's always good because you know people always say like if you can't go to bed angry at your partner or something like that, and that's when it gets techie.
That's what I have learned. Yeah, if you go to bed not speaking, that's when it's worse the next day. So I'd always, if we had a little argument, I'd always like try and that night like
solve it.
Yeah. And most of the time, she was like cool with that, and we'd sort it, and then.
Oh, mad! So that's genuinely a true thing. Yeah. People don't just say that.
Because the few times we didn't, like you just wouldn't speak to them like at all the next day, and that just prolongs it, and it just makes it more awkward to talk about when you eventually do.
Yeah.
Because like then you just forget why you're mad at them. Like now you just
trying
not to speak to them.
Stubborn. That's the stubborn lock-in. Yeah. Okay then. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Now it's proving the statements right. Okay. So. You've also learnt that as well. Little 2 on the tally.
I'd like to add one more.
Oh, go on then.
I've been doing a lot of like trying to self-improve, and one of the things is you've got to accept what you did in the past was stupid and wrong.
Well, yeah, of course.
And like
accountability, right?
Like the other thing I did, which I didn't even realise, because she'd always bring it up. She'd always be like, "Why are you guilt tripping me? Why are you guilt?" And I was like,
one of them guys.
No, but I was like, nah, that's not me. I wasn't doing that.
Yeah, because you've probably seen what it's like for other people, but you wouldn't see it in yourself.
And then looking back at things I did, and I was like, yeah, like I'd like purposely pretend that I was more upset about something than I was to kind of get my way.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, I remember one time, like she was with her friends, and we played a football tournament, and we lost. And like I was kind of angry. I wasn't really.
Yeah, you win all these games, right? Yeah.
And I was just like, I just want to see her, like, whatever, just chill out. Like, 'cause obviously tensions get high in those situations. And she was still with her friends, and I was like, So I was like, can you just come? Like, I'm quite pissed off. Like, I just want to see you. And eventually she came, and then I was with her, and I just felt bad. I was like, I kind of ruined her night. Like, she was having fun with her friends, and I didn't really need to see her, but like.
You just wanted to because you had to.
So like, and I never said it. Like, I feel bad now because like I always thought that I was like being like good the whole time. I never really apologized to her for doing that stuff, and that's kind of because obviously
went down on you, reckon?
Yeah, because when it like that's one of the things that's been like because obviously once you end, you don't really speak to them again, which
about 8-9% of the time.
She's hard to deal with.
Yeah, of course.
And like I would like because obviously it's not fair on her. Like she probably was like, obviously she felt strongly about me, and then I was doing this stuff to her, and it's like, I never apologise on it.
Yeah, but you live and you learn, right?
Yeah.
It's because you're not out here on the cam saying like, oh, you know what, everything she did was wrong, and I was the absolute gentleman that I could be. I never made any mistakes. She's a bitch. Yeah. Like, you're not saying any of that.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, even whether she sees this or not, or the thing that what matters is that you can admit.
Yeah.
You know, accountability. People are like it a lot nowadays. There are people who will lock horns and be angry at their partner for more than one night.
Yeah.
They might do it for 5, 10, and then shit gets stubborn over time, and you wonder why the divorce rate is 50%,
Yeah.
or whatever like it might be. So you gotta commend yourself, because
But yeah, like I
It's
wasn't
happened.
all bad. Like I
No, I
was,
know.
I was great.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, okay then.
Like I want to big myself up as well. Like
Okay.
there was times in that really I was the one thing I learned is I can be so patient with like, because she was going through a lot of stuff. Like obviously first year at uni, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
a lot to deal with, and I was like, look, take your time with us if you want to take a step back, like.
Do you reckon you really meant that?
Yeah, like as long as like we were still speaking and
In
like
contact,
together, like I was like, look, you don't have to say yes to anything that you don't want to do. Like we can take it as slow as you want, and like most people would have been like, oh fuck this, like
I'm not waiting for.
I'm not waiting, like,
Yeah.
and I was happy to, and then like there was situations where like, well I don't want to like go into details, but
You
like,
don't have to go.
I was like I was good, like I was complimentive, I you know what the thing is, you know me, I don't really care about many like people.
Not at all.
Like so for
Yeah.
me, like it might not have been big things to her, but like every morning like I'd make her bed after like we'd like been to sleep, whatever.
Yeah.
And like maybe to her or to people that's not a big
That's
deal.
minor. Nah,
but
bro.
for me that was like I don't even make my
Make your
own
own bed.
bed.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Like for me to do that,
Yeah.
like that to me shows that. And I remember one time she had to go somewhere and she's like, oh my room's so dirty, like, and when she went I cleaned
Say
it all
one like you
for her.
clean the thing.
Like, bro, I was trying my best to like.
Man, actually did.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So like, I was also like, you know, I try my best to be good.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, then as long as you gave it your best, then nobody can fault you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you actually are making beds.
I just like.
That's crazy.
try
This
to
is
shut-
mad to hit. How long have I known you for? What? We're 19, so let's say 7-8 years. Bro, it's minor in terms of like I guess the actual
Yeah.
physical effort required, but in terms of you actually going out everywhere, I'll give you props because that's crazy.
Yeah.
And at least it's good you can recognize you've got both sides, bro.
Yeah.
There's two sides to a
Like,
coin,
obviously-
right? So it's
And the thing that I've learned the most is when once it ends, you think more about the bad times. Like I've barely remembered any of it because obviously that brings back happy memories, and you're like obviously you don't want to feel that because it's over. So you like dwell more.
you think
Not right now, anyway.
too soon.
Too soon.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, well, another thing I learned is when you're in a relationship, you only tell your friends the bad things, because
I never knew you made the bed, bro. I'll be giving
this
you
is
way more
what I'm
props.
saying. Because
I didn't know anything about it.
you never tell your friends when it's going good. You never tell them like, well, not as much. When it goes bad, that's when you're like,
You bring the phone out.
bring
Yeah,
it,
of
and
course.
you're telling everyone, oh, what do you think, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then that becomes an issue because your friends start to resent them because every time you heard from me, it was
negative.
it was negative.
I'll be completely honest and tell you that I was not endorsing it.
Yeah, because you didn't know
Anything about what
the
you
good
did.
side,
Nothing
which
at all.
is what and her friends probably felt the exact same about me, which then they start speaking like,
That's so shit though, isn't it?
what are you doing with him? Like every time he speaks to me, it's bad. Like something's going wrong. Why are you wasting your time? But they don't know like what happens behind the scenes and that.
That's actually a mad point.
Now that was the one thing that was because she'd also like listened to her friends as well, and like I was like, oh come on, like they don't know what we're
Doing, yeah.
like how good it is 99% of the time. You only tell them, and I only tell you
the 1%.
And that was something I found
That's
interesting.
crazy. So that actually might happen in a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
Because I don't know many. There'll be a lot of people who end up like stop hanging out with their. It probably happened to when I was in my relationship with.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably never knew anything about it being good or not.
No, you only told us about like
What went wrong? Because obviously, what you want to get is an opinion on people.
Yeah, like what do you
Really,
think
like,
I
am
should
I
do?
wrong? Am I in the wrong? Should I apologize?
And you always twist it as well. Like
Yeah,
I
always
never
exaggerate. Yeah,
tell
you
the
always.
full
Oh yeah,
story,
2,000,000%. No one ever gives away like
so
all
it
the
makes
right
it even
cards.
worse on your partner. Like yeah.
You make them look like a shitbag. I've never actually thought about that.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I definitely found interesting in it.
So why are we out here telling people only the bad? Is that because bad feelings hit more?
I think you just want, as you said, you kind of want to know if you're in the right.
So it's a
'cause you have
reassurance
Yeah,
thing.
you have an
Okay.
argument. You want to know if it is you. If you're being stupid, like if you agree with me, then yeah, I'm gonna be like, yeah, fuck her, whatever.
It's bad though because your
Yeah.
friends are gonna back you.
Yeah, your friends are gonna
More
back you
time,
more
like
than-
you can
So
say.
it never ends well.
Exactly,
It never ended well when I'd like get advice from. you
Us.
lot,
Oh yeah, because we just tell you straight.
And
like,
you didn't even know, you weren't even in the same country, so I think you spoke to her once on the phone, like,
Yeah, it was like early stages.
Yeah, like so you
I remember that
didn't
being
even
very
know.
awkward. Actually, that was
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, but okay, that's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, we're also the worst people to ask because
Yeah.
that's crazy. So relationships could be out here getting worse because people use their friends for advice, or if they're bad friends, they won't give you the full.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Well, maybe, but it definitely doesn't help.
Yeah, that's mad. All right, I'm just thinking about it myself. I'm trying to recall my own kind of experience.
I think everyone's guilty of it. Everyone will have done it.
Oh yeah, because we're all looking for assurance in some ways, especially when things go wrong. That feeling hits you so hard, you want to make sure there's some comfort. Oh, saying that's not even that bad. People out here probably endorse cheating. Like, so we're not as bad as them.
No, yeah.
Okay, so in terms of another thing you've learned, good. When it comes to self-development, actually, do you think you've noticed like a massive change? Well, I'm already noticing it, but let's say like the scope of change, because between when did you start chatting to August?
Yeah, start of August and it ended start of December.
Okay,
It's like 4
so I'm assuming you've probably seen like a very strong swing.
Yeah, well, I had to, but when it ended, it was.
Lights out.
Oh, I was like, because she ended it and I had 5 days left in America, which was horrible. Like there was like, and it was finals week as well. So I remember, I was just uncontrollably crying. Like I'd just randomly start crying for like 4 days straight. And I remember we had presentations to do, and like 10 minutes before I'd just be like crying, and I'm like, I've got to speak in front of 30 Americans in 10 minutes, and I literally can't stop. So that was kind of, it was awful timing. And then I came home and I was like, okay, I'll come home, completely different place. It'll be a lot easier. No.
Yeah.
And
First couple of days are
the first 3 days I barely said a word. Like I was scared. Like I was pushing away my parents, you lot. Like I cancelled plans to, like we were gonna go to Liverpool to watch. I think it was the England-France game, and I just couldn't get out of bed. I was just.
You didn't go?
No, I literally.
I swear, I thought you went.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't leave my house. Yeah, they all went and I stayed. I just.
You're lying.
Yeah, and that was.
I really
that
thought
was the
you
problem.
man all went.
No, I didn't. Luca and Finn went. I just couldn't. And
Oh,
I
man,
felt
I didn't
so
even
bad
know.
because I'd promised, like not promised, but I'd said I'd go.
Yeah, but you're back. You're here to see your friends.
Yeah,
but
like,
I know what you mean.
And I just
like,
couldn't. I didn't have any like want to do anything other than just like, which now I know. So I'll tell the truth. I did like, I thought the only way that I'm gonna be happier is if I chat to her. So I did get back in contact with her when I got home. I haven't told anyone this. Like the third day, I messaged him, was like, just like,
just for conversation.
yeah,
Because
like,
you just want to be in contact. You don't care what
because
you
I
talk
knew
about.
if I was speaking to her, I'd feel more happier. So then I could
Do this
speak
shit.
to my
yeah, and then
parents.
us.
speak to-
Yeah.
So I did that, and we spoke for a few days, and then like
What about?
just
Really?
literally random
Small
stuff.
talk?
Like she was just asking how's England like.
And I bet you're like, yeah, it's good. I'm
Yeah.
seeing my family. Yeah, it's great.
So like it was nothing like, oh, I want to get back together, like blah blah
Oh,
blah.
thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after a few days, I could tell she was like, "This, what we doing?" So like we stopped speaking again.
You know, but them ones where you can feel
Yeah,
the vibe for the
like,
messages.
she was
yeah,
just
yeah,
like, So then I was like, yeah, this is stupid. I need to, like, if I'm going to get over her, I have to cut her off. So I blocked her on everything. Like I don't even want to see her. And then the next 2 weeks were all right. They were all right. Like I was kind of
Is this just pre-Christmas?
yeah, but then but you know me, like I'm very not confident, but I'm a lot better than I was. Like I can go out and I felt so unconfident. Even at like Christmas with my family, like I just felt like kind of really low, and like normally I'm like bubbly, like
Yeah.
I just didn't want to speak. I didn't want to be around anyone.
Your parents knew, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think I never told them how like bad I actually like. I was proper sad. Like that was the lowest part I think I've ever been in my life. That 2 weeks.
Lower
after.
than in the first episode we talked about football. Go watch it.
Yeah.
And you mentioned
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
being released from Bolton.
Yeah, 'cause that
and
was-
the football saga's not a good word to use, but you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like your
Because
experiences.
that
with
was
it.
like
But that's still
that was-
affecting your
Yeah.
confidence though. So I'm trying to see which
but
one.
this was like I didn't even want to leave my house. Like we'd go out and like, but it got to like midnight and I'd want to
Just go.
already go home. Like it, like because especially when you're on nights out, you're like just comparing everyone to her. I'm like, she's not her. Like,
she's dead.
like, what am I doing?
Why am I
now?
having this convo? I would never have this
Yeah.
convo with her. Yeah.
So
Mad.
yeah, and then I stumbled across some YouTube videos about self-improvement. This was only recently though, so like, because, okay, and then New Year's Eve comes, and I got quite drunk, and I messaged her Happy New Year, and then...
That's not
yeah,
horrible.
but then we started speaking.
That's the bad
Yeah,
part.
and then like, I kind of relapsed. Like, I felt so bad again after that, like, because obviously it brought back memories.
Of course.
And then obviously cut her off again, and I was like, I need to change. Like, so I stumbled across these videos about self-improvement. And yeah, I watched a few, and I was like, oh, it's just...
This is bullshit. This is
Bullshit,
ludicrous information. Yeah.
And then I actually started listening, and like, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I can use this pain and heartbreak that I've actually been through, and turn it into, finally, because maybe like we said in the last episode, like, I've got talent, I've got God-given ability in football. That's
a fact.
That's a fact. And the only thing I've been missing is the hard work, the determination. And maybe this is what I needed. Because as I said, I've dealt with no adversity really in my life. Like, my life's been great. Up to this point, this was the first time
You've been really...
I've been in the, like... And so so far, it's going well so far. Like, I've not been on Snapchat or Instagram for a week. Which
Crazy, by the way.
Which for me is
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've been going to the gym most days. I've been going on runs, like, and I've just been like mentally telling my, like, because what I've figured out is in that relationship I didn't love myself, and if you can't love yourself, you can't really let anyone else love you, which is just, it's just a fact. Which is probably why I was
clip.
yeah, I was,
But it is true. It's a
why
fact.
I was so
It's a
insecure
fact.
the whole time. Like, oh, she's gonna leave me. She's gonna find someone better. Like, and you can't go for a relationship like that. Like, that's why it was just so like I always never felt.
You know what's actually, now I'm thinking about it, it's mad how your life can be great
Yeah.
and you can still feel still insecure.
Yeah.
Because then what I feel like it might, because I honestly, not that I'm fully free from insecurity. There's no way, and no one ever will be, truthfully. But I can say my life has been great, and I'd say I'm more secure in myself because I guess, fortunately, I've been able to put in hard work and see certain results for myself. Obviously, now you're trying to flip the switch, and then maybe not maybe, the more evidence you give yourself of the hard work, because obviously it's hitting targets and shit. Like, you've got targets. I remember seeing them on your phone. Like, you've got targets you want to hit, bro. By the time you hit those targets, your confidence is going to be even higher than it was before you dated her, or within the past few years. You're going to be a different guy. Yeah. It's just those low points are just so bad.
Because you do. I think I did need a. I wish I didn't have to. I wish we were still together.
Yeah, of course.
But then I would
have
I would have never probably realised I need to change. Like, it's taken 19 years, but finally I figured out that something. And I might say this, and then 3 months down the line, I'm back in my old mental state, and
I'm gonna try not to let that happen.
Yeah, but like I've asked my close friends, like, please keep me on this path. Like, I don't want to go back to old Luigi. I'm trying to
elevate, like.
And like, I wish it didn't have to happen this way. Like, I wish I'd gone through this first and then met her, and it would have been.
Oh, that would have been so different. Oh God. But then, what would this have been? Someone's passing, or it might have been like a
I don't know
football issue.
I don't know what it needed to be, but
whatever God desired it to be.
But I guess if it's meant to be, it'll happen. If not, there's someone else out there who'll have to go.
Oh, well, there's 7 billion people,
exactly.
And half of them are women.
And we're still.
So you're fine.
And we're still young. We are still young.
Yeah, we have pair time. But it's just mad because, I mean, I don't know if I even like we're still young, because we might be still young, but I always think that we should just still be doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Like I would happily find a wife right now.
Yeah, obviously.
Because it'd be so good for me. Like, it'd make my life a lot more simple.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I think another thing is you need good people around you. Like, obviously, I've got Luca, you, Finn, Alfie, Cash, all.
Yeah, cool. Should have made me first, but sorry.
Yeah, well, I mentioned Luca first. But like, him especially, like, he's gone through something similar at the same time. So me and him have been like,
oh, you've been in your down points together, huh?
So that kind of
I don't want to read those conversations.
No,
I don't want to see them come.
Like even last night, like it still hurts. Like last night, I was like, because
after the meal,
bro, because we say something at the meal and it triggers like a memory of her, and then I was just like, because I thought I was doing well, and then but like
you are,
yeah, but you can't. What I've learned is it's going to hurt for a long time. Like she was my first love. Like it's just it is what it is. Like, and I'm never gonna forget her. Like realistically, she is now the
standard
that every girl has
needs
to
beat. Yeah, 100% beat. Yeah,
we're not. Yeah. So like, and it probably take a while. Like it's been a month. A month, 3 days ago was when it ended. Like
yeah.
It's gonna take a lot more time than this. And what I've learned is you just gotta accept that there will be nights it's gonna be shit. But don't let that beat you. Like today's a new day. Like last night was bad. Today
you sound so cool, man.
Today
you would never have said this 3 months ago, bro.
That's why I'm kind of not that I wanted it to happen. Obviously.
We're joking. Yeah, if you know what he's trying to say, you'll know he's not happy he broke up with her. But yeah, I know what you mean. No. I actually do want to ask though. I asked you about what it feels like at the high points. I want to know what it feels like at the low points because you kind of went into it, but because I haven't experienced. Well, I've experienced it, but not as deep.
Your breakup was like.
Mine was like 2 years ago.
It was like not
it was
consensual,
more,
but like.
It was nicer.
Yeah.
It was nicer. I say it was nicer, and like, the low points. Obviously, I'm not trying to make you cry. I know I said I was going to before, but I wouldn't actually mean it. I want to know what it's like because those thoughts are probably extremely intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
So how bad does it really get? Because people might be out here relating to you. You said Luca low-key or high-key relates to you. I've not been through it
the thing I felt was, like, I just didn't understand how you could be in love with someone and not give up per se, but like not fight. And that's the thing I couldn't get my head around. And also, it's the fact that you've been with this person. Like, she knew I'd never opened up to anyone other than like you as much to her. Like, she knew everything about me. Like,
yeah, you're basically giving your soul.
Oh, I told her everything.
I know.
And then you're with her every day for 4 months. Like, and then one day decides no more, and then you just have to forget about that person, or you have to kind of move on. And that's the thing that I still don't understand, like how you can be okay with not speaking to that person anymore. Like, but so many times I've wrote paragraphs and had to delete them because I'm like, no, I can't do that. Like,
yeah, you can't.
And I want to speak to her. I want to like be like, are you okay, whatever? Because obviously you still care about it. Just because it's over.
It's not like something horrific happened to make you not care. It's
Just because it's over doesn't mean you stop loving them. Like,
of course.
Like, and I think for me that was the thing. Like, I kind of felt bad as well because it ended it was my fault. Like, I did something stupid. Like, obviously I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I didn't cheat or
it's
anything.
It's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So that was like, there was guilt, there was regret, there was, and with it being so close to me going home, I was like, I just needed to get through that final week, and we could have
those 5 days you were saying.
Yeah. And then like, I can't even describe it. Like, it was just horrible. Like,
you probably feel every negative feeling in the book, right?
Like, you just feel like useless, like worthless. Like, you feel like you're never gonna fall in love again. That was the thing. Obviously it's not true, but like,
you never think it's not true. Though.
Yeah.
You're thinking in your life like,
point,
I fucked up. How can anybody ever like me again? Yeah. But all this I'm saying, it's mad to actually say that this is the real experience, because I would only ever hear it from other people, or in like a film, where in the romance Hollywood movie, the guy's heart is broken, and his friends go, "Come on, bro, let's go out somewhere. Let's go for at least a meal." He's like, "No, I don't want to."
Yeah.
And that's really real,
because
it's really real.
Once again, you lot probably were like, come on, it was 4 months, like, and every time you spoke to us, it was going bad, or like. So
yeah, how can you care?
People,
I'd be real,
like, people, like, obviously they were there for me, but like, no one really understood how bad I was feeling. Like, I didn't really want to put that onto people. Like,
your burden to bear.
Yeah,
type
you don't
thing.
want to like. So I remember the few days after, I'd just cry all the time. I didn't want to leave my room. Like, I'd have to go and eat with people, like obviously in the canteen, and like, oh, it was horrible. I just wanted to
Hood up.
headphones in, and then people would ask what's wrong, and like, you choke up, like
Yeah.
and
What exactly are you? Because are there different reasons you'd be crying, or are you always
bro,
crying at the same?
Bro, I didn't even
You're not
realize
even
I was
like
crying.
subconsciously
like,
thinking about it.
It would just come at random times. Like I'd tell it was uncontrollable. I'd have to. Obviously, I was in my room with my roommate, and I just like feel I'm gonna start crying here. Obviously, maybe I'd seen something or something
Thought in your
reminds
mind.
me of her. Yeah, like because obviously when I'm at the school, everything reminds me of her. Like
Because you've been in that environment for 4 months.
with her everywhere.
Yeah.
So like everything just was like a constant reminder. So there was not really one particular. Obviously, just being
ended.
heartbroken.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
over. Like that was
Okay.
the main thing. But like,
Man, that's horrible.
yeah,
I mean, it just goes to. I mean, when you said obviously the moving on aspect is what's crazy,
yeah,
and it was funny because that podcast shits and gigs. It's the black and mixed race guy. They were making a joke about like it was somebody tweeted, "I'm so toxic, I'll break up with a girl and then ask her 5 minutes later, so you never love me."
yeah.
It's like that's literally like what you're thinking. That's exactly what you're thinking in the.
I think because the thing is with us, we broke up so like, I wouldn't say nice, but like we ended it on good terms. Like when she left, like we said bye to each other, like which didn't help. Like that.
No, of course.
That
It's
killed,
losing.
yeah.
Yeah, your soul's just going away. Like.
Yeah, so like we ended it on like goodish terms. I'd say good terms. Like we hugged when I was.
It wasn't
leaving.
spiteful.
No,
That's what
no,
it
no.
is. Yeah, so it wasn't spiteful.
Which I think is probably even worse because I'd much rather have ended it us screaming at each other, "I hate you," blah blah blah. Because I feel like with it ending so well, like that kind of maybe gave me hope that it could
rebound. Like you could
but,
regain
like,
where you were.
She wasn't feeling that at all.
I mean, bro, the moving on aspect is what's hard. Like
Yeah.
moving on from whether it's romantic or relationship, like moving on from even people who might have like passed away or
Yeah.
died in your family or anything like that. Like
It's grief, isn't it?
yeah, it's literally grief. My family, I lost one of my closest family friends ever about over a year ago. And I tell you now, if this was flipped,
Yeah.
I'd probably be crying on camera.
Yeah.
Even though, because that's my first loss, that really hit me in the
Yeah.
family. She's obviously someone who's shared memories of me,
Yeah.
raised me. Like I could, if somebody blindfolded me and like 10 African women are talking, I'll know exactly who she is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about when it comes to grief.
And I think it's worse, maybe not worse, but because she's still alive, like you're grieving someone who's still
who's
alive.
gotten about doing
you
what
could
she's doing.
you could see.
I know what you mean.
So that, but obviously she's not coming back to the school next semester, which should help. Obviously, I won't see her every day. I think that would be horrible if I went back and I was just seeing her around like.
Right, cameras cut. Back of house problem. Them man have been fired, and if you're on Spotify, you may notice a pause in the audio. Like I said, that's because the camera's cut. Anyway, we were discussing grief on the audio. So, you know what? We're gonna wrap up the relationship with that because I can't go back into it with a straight face. But you just said that it was a positive experience.
Yeah.
And you're not going to think negatively of, I assume, the girl?
No.
There's no way that'll happen.
There's still love there, 100%.
You reckon, and there always will be?
Yeah. I'll always like, maybe not check up on her, but like in the future, like I want her to do well in whatever she does. Like, as I said, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with her. I wouldn't have changed any of it. Obviously it ended. Maybe didn't want that to happen, but everything happens for a reason. She might come back into my life further down the line. She might not. And
Whatever happens.
But yeah, I did learn a lot about myself, which is good. I learned a lot about myself in a relationship, which obviously for the next one.
That's the
That's
first
the
real
best.
indication you ever had
Yeah,
about how
yeah.
you would be as a boyfriend.
Yeah. And I'd say it was 9%,
9.
90.
Oh, sorry.
90% positive.
Yeah.
And obviously in every relationship there's going to be issues. And
Well, yeah, no one's perfect.
yeah, and I know how now I can deal with those better. Like, as I said, I learned a lot about myself. But yeah, I wouldn't have changed it. Great girl. As I said, I apologise to her for the way I acted.
Say it in the camera.
No.
No.
If she is watching, yeah, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No,
That's how it is.
it is what it is. As I said, and we'll move on. And as I said, I'm on a journey now. So hopefully, I can stay on and
Welcome.
welcome to the.
the
It's
journey.
about time. Man. I said it in the last podcast. Like, I did say something might need to. I don't know if I did say that. I was thinking it. Something might need to happen for my mentality to shift. Unfortunately, it's getting my heart broken, but
Hey, best medicine, right?
Here we are.
now you're gonna be them
And
guys in the gym who are
yeah.
pumping up them pecs and shit.
Can we move on to?
We're gonna move on.
lighthearted
Yes.
stuff?
Okay. So yeah, more lighthearted. I want to talk about that Stanford University document